Hello, welcome to the back road. My name is Christine, and I don't know why I'm talking this slowly, because I normally talk a lot faster. This is going to be my final video upload of 2020, at least that I have planned, but who knows, I often do things completely randomly and spontaneously, but this is my planned video to close out this year called 2020. Over the past 3 years, I've incorporated this tradition into my life of compiling the top 10 country songs of that year for me. So in 2017 and 2018, I did this on my blog, also called The Back Road. And then last year, when I started a YouTube channel, I did my top 10 songs of 2019. So this year, inevitably, I sought out to do the same. And the way that I compile this list is through looking at my Spotify Wrapped results of my most listened to songs of that year. So this year, I was looking at my top 100 songs, and then I had an identity crisis. By that, I mean, I don't really know if most of what I listen to can be classified as country. I think most of what I listen to, if you look at my top 5 artists, my top 5 genres, can be better described as Americana. Now I'm kind of at this crossroads where over the past, 10 years, I've really identified as a country fan. I'm like, yeah, I love country. And then I also listen to Americana and folk and bluegrass on the side, but like country is where it's at. Don't get me wrong, I think I will always love country music. I have watched the Ken Burns documentary series twice. I watch every single ACM and CMA awards. But as of this year, I think it's growing more apparent to me that I might be more of an Americana fan who likes country on the side. So will I rebrand my YouTube channel? Who knows? We'll see. I mean, I can just embrace both, but I feel like I'm almost lying or portraying a false image when I say I'm predominantly a country fan, because I'm not obsessed with the hot country charts, like what is popular in Nashville, on the radio. Sometimes I'll pop in there, I'll turn on the highway on Sirius XM and see oh, what's popular right now, but it's not really my jam anymore, and that's okay. This year, instead of making a top 10 country songs of 2020 video, I want to make a top 10 songs about 2020, because I think this is way more interesting and important. These are songs, some of them are country, some of them are Americana, that really resonated with me this year, that really speak to this momentous time in history. Some of these songs touch on, the pandemic and life in quarantine, while others touch on America reckoning with its history of inequality. I've realized that sometimes you can't really describe a song to someone. You just have to hear it and have that experience for yourself. So I'm gonna try not to do too much describing of these songs. I really encourage you to listen to them for yourself so you can have that experience. But I'll talk about what I liked about these songs. I think that music and art as a whole is such a beautiful way to capture the human spirit and to capture this moment in history. That being said, these songs I feel are timeless. I feel like they will obviously live beyond 2020. And similarly, this experience that we've had in 2020 will continue to go forth into 2021. So this is not just about 2020, but this is about what has been started in 2020. And these are all songs that were released this year that I really love and hope that you all listen to. So I forgot to say, this is gonna be like a countdown from number 10 down to number 1. So in number 10 place, that sounds weird, is 6 Feet Apart by Luke Combs. To me, it is a really light-hearted look at the state of life in quarantine and not being able to do the things you normally do. One thing that Luke Combs does really well is that he's just so relatable. I know Grady made a whole video on this, but it's so true. He released it pretty early on in the pandemic, and I think it really resonated with a lot of people in the country community. So this next song is Better Than We Found It by MAREN MORRIS. While I love MAREN Morris's voice, I've never really loved her songs because they're just in general too poppy for me. However, I think this song is really beautiful. She released it right before and leading up to the election, and it is a song that calls for social change and speaks to this divisive time in history and questions herself and the audience, like, which side of history do you want to be on? The final line of the chorus is, "Will we leave this world better than we found it?" And I think that's a really profound question. The next song is Long Violent History by Tyler Childers. Now, I already talked about this song and the album in a previous video, but I wanted to put it out there again. As you may already know, I love Tyler Childers. Essentially, he is speaking to his predominantly white, working class Appalachian audience and getting them to think about and empathize with the struggles of being Black in America.
She thinks life is fair and got here.
So the next song is called What Are You Gonna Tell Her by GUYTON. She's basically talking about raising a young girl, a daughter, and the daughter is so innocent and she just thinks that life is fair and everything will work out in her favor and she'll be able to do anything. But GUYTON questions, what are you gonna tell her when she grows up and realizes that life isn't fair and the deck might be stacked against her because of the systems of inequality that still exists within this country? Like, what are you gonna tell her? And she's constantly repeating that chorus, and you can just really feel this sadness, and it's just so heartbreaking, this loss of innocence. Maybe she's thinking about herself, like herself growing up and realizing that the world isn't fair. The next song is called Part Wolf by CRAIGIE, who is one of my favorite artists ever. He appears on my top 5 most listened to artists of the year for like the past 5 years. And I've seen him live like 3 times now. Freaking love him. Like, I could talk about that for hours. This song was on an album he released this year called ** the Universe, which I'm absolutely in love with. But this song in particular is about being American. The first line is, "I've got that American meanness." It's about standing up for what you believe in and fighting for it. There's a line in there that goes, "This is the year we'll be kicking his ass out. Maybe you've been sleeping, maybe you've been passed out. I'm here to shake you, here to wake your ass up now. You didn't suffer so long just to keep suffering on." He wrote this song like way before the election and predicted it successfully. So the next song is called The Reckoning by Front Country, and they are a progressive bluegrass band, originally based here in the San Francisco Bay Area, but now based in Nashville. And I've seen them live like twice. already. This song is really great. It's the title track off of their new album. I also love the song called Make It Now. And the funny thing is, it was written like before 2020 and just like works so perfectly. There is this line that really resonates with me every single time I hear it. In the chorus, it goes, "Sometimes the sickness is a gift, so we can make the medicine." Like, what? Like, that blows my mind every single time. And I mean, you can read the song however you want. I think it is timeless and it is not necessarily just about 2020, but I think it applies so much to 2020, where it is a year that the world and our nation has been reckoning with all of its problems. Are we ready to move forward and push past this? The next song is called Under the Devil's Knee by TRE BURT. I freaking love this song, and I have been playing it on repeat and singing it all around my apartment for the past week. It's funny to say like, oh yeah, I just sing songs about police brutality all around the house, but it's just so damn catchy. What I love about this song is the combination of how it sounds and the lyrics. It's such a generic thing to say about the song. When you listen to the song, it sounds like just a classic old folk tune. The chorus is so sing-alongable, but the lyrics are about the stories of George Floyd, Eric Garner, and Breonna Taylor. My favorite line in there that gets to me every time is, "Breonna worked the long shift, had dreams to be a nurse. How I wished I could have saved her from this American curse." That gets me every time. I love the catchiness and the folk country instrumentation and the melody. It just feels really timeless, yet it speaks directly to events that happened in 2020.
See 2020.
The next song is called 2020 by Maggie Rose, and I absolutely love this song. I think it perfectly encapsulates 2020. She says, "I see 2020." And already that is a great pun, if you ask me. And she says, "But I couldn't see the tornado coming." I think she lives in Nashville, so that could speak to the tornado that hit Nashville early this year in March, but it could also be the metaphorical tornado of 2020. And then the end of the chorus goes, "But at least I see 2020." What a great pun. I just really like that. Like, at least she has clarity of vision, and also she can experience this year. And the song really speaks to just all of the emotions of 2020 and how hard it is, and at the same time it has some really powerful instrumentation that brings out the emotional depth and intensity of what she is singing. I like the line, "Hey, I tried to stay high, but it took away Rogers, Withers, and Prime." And then it ends on a kind of hopeful note. Like, despite all of these terrible things, at least I see 2020.
How it walking down.
The next song, penultimate song, is "The Time for Flowers" by Emily Scott Robinson. I love her. I love this song so much. I talked about it in my previous video, and we talked about it. The first time I heard the song, I cried. I think it just perfectly captures the sadness of this moment, but also the hope that one day the time for flowers will come again. One day we will be reunited and we will be able to hold each other and hold each other's babies. The song is very stripped down and intimate, and you can just really feel the power in her voice and in all of the lyrics.
The streets are all empty.
Alright guys, we made it to the end. The final song is called Each Other by Grace Potter, and featuring other artists as well, including Marcus King. I think my first video of 2020 was actually about Marcus King. This song just really resonated with me. It's so beautiful. It is about the pandemic. It is about life in quarantine and what this moment is like. You know, the chorus goes, I don't know where we're going, but if the going gets rough, we've got each other, and for now, that's enough. I think that is so beautiful, and it really touches at the core of, even when everything is stripped away, the things that really matter remain, and that is human connection. I think this song and the arrangement with all the different vocals and the build-up is absolutely beautiful. As I said about every song in this video, captures the spirit of 2020. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Exactly a year ago, I had around 150 subscribers, and now I have like almost 1,000. And even though I try not to care about metrics because I don't want that to affect my content, my authentic expression, I think that's really cool. So thank you everyone for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of 2020 and start of 2021. Bye. Hello! As a special surprise, reward, whatever you want to call it, for making it to the end of this video, I'm going to do something unprecedented because YOLO and sing you an original song that I wrote about 2020, very fitting for the theme of this video, specifically about the state of being separated by a lover during quarantine. It's purely fictional. I just imagined what that would be like and wrote it for fun. I am not an expert at singing or songwriting by any means, so just wanted to share. It seems like it was just yesterday when we were free to go out and play, and now I'm sitting here all alone. Oh sweet darling, how I miss you so. Oh how I just want to go outside, paint the town with you by my side. Now I'm laying here in my bed, wishing that I was with you instead. I miss those days of you and me, when we would run around wild and free. And now I only see you in my dreams, or in a box on my computer screen. But nobody knows how long this will go. But when will this end? 'Cause I miss my friend. I need to scroll because I didn't memorize the lyrics. I hear the neighbors making love upstairs. I try to pretend that I don't care, but it makes me lonely and think of you and all the things that I would do. The walls and ceilings are shaking now. I put on some